Welcome to Viben Now, a collection of guided meditations put into podcast form for your easy listening. My name is Vivian Gerard, and I will be walking with you through the intoxicating now moments of life here on this planet. These audios are intended to be used as a full meditation if you want to close your eyes, settle down into a comfy spot, and let your subconscious come all the way forward. Or it can simply be some background conversation where the nuggets of information that you most need will make their way into your awareness. Whichever way it works for you, I invite you to open up and enjoy fully this journey of life that we are all taking together. So much love to you.
Good morning and welcome to Soul Shine. It is Memorial Day weekend, and there is nowhere I would rather be than here with all of you this morning. And I also have a house full of family, so we will see. We'll see how it goes today. I have a feeling there might be some background noise, and also that really is the point of today's gathering, is for us to feel community and feel the interconnectedness of all of us. So here we are. Let us begin. All right, let's start by connecting to breath. So whether you are arriving here after already running around and doing errands, or just climbing out of bed and settling into a quiet space, go ahead and notice your breathing. If it's fast, slow it down. If it's comfortable, just go ahead and feel your body connecting to your breath. Yeah. And then start doing some long, slow exhales out. So breathe in through your nose and then do the long, slow exhale out through your mouth. And as you do that, allow your body to connect with your breath as you go deeper in. So it's almost like you can imagine as you exhale out, your breath is sliding you down into your body. And so your energy can start to match up with the physical, your soul, your vibration, the consciousness that is you in this lifetime can start to come down and into your body through the vehicle of breath, right? Breath that gives us life can bring you down and into this body. Yeah, so take your time. Often this can be the hardest part of meditation, or this can be where you feel the most resistance in yourself. It's like, I don't want to be here in this body, or I don't want to be here in this moment, or I don't want to be here in this experience of life. Whether or not I picked it or I'm creating it, it feels difficult, or it feels painful, or it feels boring, right? It could be so many things. And when we pause to meditate, when we pause to connect back in with our breath, it brings up all those things that we don't like in and around us. And so sometimes we resist. So what if in this moment your breath is your friend? Your breath is the conscious choice you make right here and right now to just feel you. To feel your body, to feel your soul, to gently agree that we all wanted this, we all chose this. Yeah, good work. Good work. And just let yourself slowly come in. It doesn't have to be a big, bumpy landing, right? Like, get in the body. Get in the body and do it now or you're in trouble, right? What if it's just, feels good to land. It feels good to arrive in a space that is safe. Yeah, in a gathering of people who don't expect a thing from you except just to be here. Just to be here. Be you, be here, be with us, There's nothing you have to give or receive or do or make or create. You just get to arrive. And maybe you'll feel something or you'll have a shift. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll feel a rush of emotions. Maybe you won't. It's all perfect. It's just you creating the time to pause and check in. Good. And then imagine as you are connecting with your breath in this familiar way, this friendly way, that there could be a magnetic pull in the center of your body. And it just starts to attract more and more of you to this moment. Not like in the superhero comics, right, where it's like the evil guy has the magnet and he pulls the power of the magnet and people are resisting and trying to not come, and then they're hooked against the magnet and they're fighting, right? It isn't that. It isn't that at all. It's a feeling of coming home, right? A feeling, makes me want to cry. It's a feeling of safety and love and just being here. Just being here. Yeah, and as it feels so good, more and more of you wants to be here. And what it might feel like in your body is like if you've ever put gas into your car and the engine is still running, you can see the little meter go from empty to full. I used to love that when I was first learning to drive. I'm like, wow. You can see the gas tank like literally filling up, right? Of course, there was part of me that always thought, am I going to explode the car because the engine is running and can things catch on fire? But there was something so fulfilling about seeing the gas tank get filled up. And in this moment, what if you feel that physically in your body? What if you can feel like a tingle or an aliveness or it's a filling up. It's like from the bottoms of your toes, through your feet, through all of your legs, your arms, your physical body, the organs, the cells, the DNA. It's like you are filling back up with yourself. Yeah, it might feel strange, right? If we're used to floating around or, being super busy and not really landing in one place with all of our attention here. Sometimes this feeling is a little overwhelming or intense, The tingliness is like, stop. Run away again. Don't do that thing where you fill up. But what if you just try it for now? No one's watching or expecting or measuring or telling you you have to do it. It's just an invitation. What if you play with filling your body all the way up with you? You in you. Yeah, and then just see if you can feel where your energy is in your body. Maybe it's at your belly. Maybe it's all the way to your shoulders. Maybe you've already filled up your body and you're vibrating in the aura energy space around you. There's no right or wrong, but see if you can feel for yourself where you are right now. Yeah, and if it feels like there's room for more of you to come home, let it happen, right? Invite, a bunch of you just did that. I can feel, right, like, boom, there comes all the energy. Yeah, no right or wrong. It's just a way to play. It's a way for you to play with how present you are, how embodied you are, how much fear there is in your space that, we're going to move out in a few moments if you want. But it's just a way of connecting, of feeling what's really happening inside of you in this moment. Yeah, so one more invitation for your energy to come back. Come back home if you want to. Use your breath if it feels intense. Just push the energy down to your feet. Fill all the way up from your feet, all the way to the top of your head. I was actually playing with this with a client last week, and she runs a lot of energy for people. She's a shaman healer, and she's always giving and processing for people. And I said to her, what if just for right now you can close or seal the bottoms of your feet? So just try that with me for a moment. What if you can feel the bottoms of your feet close up, and all of this energy that's yours is coming in, filling up, coming home, more and more of you coming into you. And we seal the top of the crown also just for a moment, right? She didn't do it for long because she's like, too much. But just for a moment, if you could seal the feet, seal the crown, and then just call in your energy to you. It's so beautiful, right? Like, that's your essence, your energy, your power. Nobody else's, right? None of us are in each other's space in this moment. It's just you with you. That vibration through your body, that singing of energy through your veins and your cells, it's all you. It's all you. And when we dissipate it out to other people and we dissolve and give and leak and share and support and, right, we give, out, we forget, like, the gorgeous power, the gorgeous source within us that is just for us. So if it feels intense, go ahead. Actually, even if it doesn't, let's go ahead and do some releasing. Go ahead and open up the bottoms of your feet. Yeah, you can wiggle them into the carpet if you're sitting in a chair. If you're cross-legged on the floor or laying on the bed, you can use your heels or your ankle bones. Go ahead and just run some of the energy out. What you can feel first, if you'd like, is energy that isn't yours, shit you've picked up for other people or processed for other people or are holding for other people or blah, whatever, right? Go ahead and just run that stuff out first. So what it might feel like is like little levers slide open at the bottoms of your feet, and then it's just like a drizzle that comes out of your feet. There you go. Sometimes it becomes like a waterfall, right? If you're holding a lot for other people or trying to do their work for them or picking up things that, you think are yours but aren't yours. Sometimes it's literally a waterfall of energy that moves out of your feet. And it goes into the earth, right? And the earth, I can't even tell you, every day when I meditate, every session with a client, like the earth is constantly reminding me, showing me, I want to support life and love in this way, right? The earth is wanting to hold and honor what humans are doing on her planet. And the exchange, the co-creation of earth and humans is you release that which is toxic into the earth. You send it down. It becomes compost, that the soil, the nutrients of the soil recycle that energy that doesn't serve us. And you can't get lost in it, right? I've shared this before, but the earth, if you were to go from the surface of the earth to the center of the earth, it's 4,000 miles. If you think you have 4,000 miles worth of junk energy in your body, we got stuff we need to talk about. Most people can't hold that much toxicity, so she can handle you handing it over. Right? So just feel the energy moving out the bottoms of your feet. You may have held some of this for years, for your whole lifetime, for just a couple hours. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just release it into the earth, and she just takes it, recycles it so much faster than how we could try and heal it or process it here in our minds or our physical bodies, right? The earth's power is so mighty, so good. Yeah, so as you're releasing, I want you to visualize from the bottoms of your feet that you can grow roots, right? And for some of you, you may not want to grow roots. That's okay. You don't have to. If you want to, what the roots do, they connect you energetically into community or consciousness or the collective energy of souls here on this planet, but in a different way, right? Like we go into the earth and the roots ground us and anchor us and give us depth and strength. I was talking with a friend this week, and she had this beautiful comparison about trees. And she said, the trees that fall over are usually the ones where the roots have rotted or they aren't supported or strong enough. And so no matter how tall the tallest tree is, if the roots underneath the surface aren't anchored and strong, the tree won't be able to hold its height because it doesn't have the width and the depth underneath the surface of the earth. And I thought that was so beautifully said and so true, right? So in this moment, if what you want is to be the light, right? That's my favorite expression. I want to be the light. I want to share love. I want to bring joy and peace and hope to people. And in order to do that, I go 7 miles down into the earth when I do my visualization every morning in my meditations. I go down. I go down and I go wide, right, with roots. And then when I do that, I can see clearer. I can feel more. I can hold more. I can understand in a different way because I can feel how supported and held I am with the earth. Yeah, good. You should be feeling that rootedness. If you're dropping roots, you should be feeling that as a vibration that moves through your legs. Right? It might start at your feet. It might be all the way up at your knees by now or your hips. But it's a gravitational pull. It's a tugging down. Yeah, I think on our very first call, I was doing this and I said, and the roots go into the earth and they go down and then they start dancing, right? They're playing and they're moving and they're vibrating, and every one of us was like, whoa, what just happened? Right? So feel the match of that. The match of that, how we can overlap when we root in, right? My roots can spread and they can go 100 miles wide and they can touch someone who's in Indianapolis or Columbus or Lexington or Louisville. I can spread my roots all the way to the edges of the country on both coasts. And someone on those coasts can spread roots my direction, and we can overlap because we're in the depths of the earth energetically. And it's a foundational strength. Use your breath again, and anything that is coming up in you or you want to release, or if you feel resistance, just let it be energy. And if you choose, it can run down your roots into the earth. Yes, and then there becomes this calm in your physical body. Right, your muscles can relax, your bones can melt a little bit. Your breathing can just become this easy breath. And the roots are doing what they need to do, and you don't even have to pay attention. You trust, you know that the roots have you and you're being supported. Good. Good work. Good work landing. Sometimes that is the hardest part of a meditation. Yeah, so scan your body. Anything else that's ready to move in this moment, go ahead and just let it move. Let yourself feel fully present here in this moment. And then I want you to, if you choose, to create a pathway in your body. So when we pull that energy of ours back in. The way it looks to me is like right through the center of the chakra system, so from the crown of the head, straight down the center of the body, all the way down to the hip bones. There's like this energetic tunnel or pull or tubing that goes straight through the center of my body, and then when it gets to my hips, I can feel it sort of spread apart and then run down each of my legs to my feet. And what I do so often in meditation, and I invite you to do it today if you want, is as things come up, as we're playing with energy over the next little while, if things come up and it feels intense or heavy or sad or happy or whatever, let it just be energy that gets pulled to that central tube, and then it runs down through your body to your hips, divides at your tops of your legs, and then runs down your legs to your feet and out into the earth through those roots. So you just create a new pathway in your body, and when energy feels a little stuck or blocked, it just moves. It just moves. That's it. It gets pulled, goes to the center of you, runs down and out. And so you become just this conduit or space holder, and as you're looking at things, energy is just moving through you, and you're fully supported by the earth, and energy is released into the earth. And so there's a flow in a new way, perhaps, through your space. And so you'll actually move so much more, so much faster, and have it integrate in a way that might feel different or new or good for you. All right, so you can visualize that pathway. Do one more quick breath and let it just move through your body down to your feet, at your feet into the earth. Okay, and then I want you to visualize, I saw this in my meditation this morning, it was so beautiful. I want you to visualize that all who are listening to the call right now, or who will ever listen to the recording of this call, can form a circle. I know, so cool, right? Can form a circle. And in the center of that circle sits Source. And Source is going to look different no matter who's looking at that energy we call Source. It reminds me a little bit of a carousel. When you're going up and down on the horses, in the center of the carousel, they have all those mirrors, but they're long strips of mirrors. And so as you go around, it's like fractured images of yourself. Even though it's you whole going all the way around the perimeter of the carousel, the inside is reflecting all these different things. And I feel that so much joy. I feel that energy of Source in the center with a mirror to each one of us that reflects us, right? Our individuality, and yet our interconnectedness. Yeah, go ahead and feel yourself grounding in. So claim your space. You are here in this community. You chose to be here. You can pop out or pop in, but you chose to be in the space of these souls, all who will ever listen to this. And in the center sits Source, holding all of us, reflecting each of us, connecting the individual to the whole. Yeah, and just take a moment, connecting with your breath. Feel yourself rooting in at your hip bones, at your feet. And take a moment and explore this. So you might look around you and see all the other souls that are in this space. You might look just at Source and look in the mirror and see, you can pull the mirror closer if you would like. Or you can push it further away so you don't see. But what's here for you? What if Source brings all of his or her attention just to your mirror for a moment, and then magnifies it or brings Source himself or herself closer to you for a moment. Yeah, your heart might be beating really fast. Like, really? For me? Right? Or maybe in fear, like, I don't know if I want to look. None of it's wrong. None of it's wrong. It's just an invitation for you to see yourself, perhaps, in a way that has so much more love and compassion than how we normally see ourselves. If it's too much, you can say to Source, move back. Move back over there. Yeah, if it feels like you want to touch the community or be held by the community, energetically you can just invite whoever you feel on either side of you just to put their hand on your arm or their hand on your knee or their hand on your hand. Yeah. And while we sit here, I'm going to read you something that a client sent to me this week, which I just keep going back to it. It's about interconnectedness. So have Source sit wherever feels most comfortable to you. And go ahead and just ground in for a moment and listen as I read these few paragraphs. It's from an astrologer, and he was quoting some science. He said, "We're all family. You have at least 1 million relatives, as close as a 10th cousin. And no one on earth is any further removed than your 50th cousin." Isn't that crazy? With each breath, you take into your body 10 sextillion atoms, and, owing to the wind circulation, every year you have intimate relations with oxygen molecules exhaled by every person alive, as well as by everyone who ever lived. Right now, you may be carrying atoms that were once inside the lungs of Malcolm X, William Shakespeare, Joan of Arc, and Cleopatra. When I read this, I was always also thinking, and all those we honor this weekend on Memorial Day, right? Every atom connects with every single soul here on earth. He continues and says, your body contains about 4 octillion atoms. That's 4 with 27 zeros after it. Believe it or not, 200 billion of that total were once inside the body of Martin Luther King Jr. For that matter, an average of 200 billion atoms of everyone who has ever lived and died is part of you. He has one more piece, which blows my mind. I might have to read it to you twice. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson told the Washington Post the following fun facts. There are more molecules of water in a cup of water than cups of water in all the world's oceans. I'm going to read that again because it didn't even make sense when I read it the first time. There are more molecules of water in a cup of water than there are cups of water in all of the world's oceans. This means that some molecules in every cup of water you drink passed through the kidneys of Genghis Khan, Napoleon, Abe Lincoln, or any other historical person of your choosing. I mean, blows your mind, right? And also such confirmation that we are all one, we are all interconnected, right? And as I was reflecting for Memorial Day weekend, like what is the message of love that comes through this weekend, right? Why all of us in the States pause, and it's just this time of family and connection and honoring. And what is the bridge from that into Soulshine? And what I kept getting is it's the same. It's the same. We're all the same. We're all one. right? We're all students and teachers of each other, those who have passed, those who are alive, those who will still be coming. And so this morning I was sitting in my meditation, and I just kept coming back to what's the point, right? What's the point? What is this point of student and teacher? And so I have a couple thoughts. And they're going to come through stories, and then I'd like us to do some energy work. So this is the way the stories appeared, and I'll just share them in the same order. I was listening to an interview with Esther Hicks, who does the channeling of Abraham, and her husband Jerry had passed away a while ago, and she was being interviewed just recently for Hay House, and she said, the gentleman asked her, how do you feel about your husband being gone? Do you miss him? And it was so real. She just started crying a little bit and couldn't speak. And then she said, most of the time I feel him, like he's right by my side vibrationally. And she said, I know things I shouldn't know. I get answers I shouldn't understand. I just feel and trust all this information that keeps coming through. And she said, but then moments like this happen, and she said, I'm sad and lonely, and I want the physical of him here. And she said, what I have come to realize is my vibration drops lower, and lower isn't bad, right? Lower is normal, it's human. She said, my vibration drops lower, and I don't have the connection at the high vibration level. And she said that's when it feels heavy and dark and lonely and sad. And she said it's not that, this makes me want to cry again. She said it's not that he has left me. She said I've dropped my vibrational level. And when I drop to that level, I don't feel the connection in the same way that I felt before. And when I can keep my vibration level high, we sing and we dance and we play, and there's so much information that flows between the two of us. And I cried when I listened to her because I have several very close friends who have passed, and I dance with that myself, right? Like when I trust, when I'm in the vibration of knowing that we're all one, knowing that time and space are an illusion, and there is love always that is flowing between every soul alive and living and gone. Gone is such a silly word. Transitioned. When I trust that, love is palpable. It's a knowing, a certainty. And when my vibration level drops, there's grief and sadness and doubt. And so what I got from Esther sharing this is her belief about her work in her lifetime is to keep her vibrational level high, not fake joy, not being in the shadow and just being in the light, but keeping her vibrational awareness open and vibrant, appreciative, engaged, exchanging. And when she does that, she feels the joy, the connection, the support. Her life flows, like the call we did where you backfloat in the river. Her life flows with ease and with grace, because she's trusting and knowing and allowing instead of fighting and resisting and pushing against. So that cracked my heart open. My heart cracks open all the time. That cracked my heart open this morning. And then there was a moment where I was remembering an energy experience I had. Part of my questioning this morning is, what's the point of being alive? Why do we choose life? Why do we choose Earth? Why do we choose these incarnations, which sometimes are so tiring and hard, and there's sadness and struggle, and why? Why do we come and do this? And I know I have a match to probably everyone on the call, because that's life, right? Like, we question it. What's the point? What's the point? And there was this beautiful moment. It was right after my husband and I got married. And I'd had a retreat at my house, and everyone left, and the next morning there was a surprise snow day, and he and I got to stay home, and it was almost like this bonus honeymoon morning where we both were like cuddling in bed and going, oh, we don't have to get up, we just get to sleep. Like, it was such a gorgeous surprise after a really busy time, and we don't usually get snow in November. And we fell back asleep, and I went into this like dream space that was really almost just, it was an experience, an energy experience, and it felt like he and I were in the heavens or the universe or the darkness of what I would imagine space might feel like. You know, it was just this beautiful sensation of floating. And I remember just feeling, as I was laying next to him, half asleep, half awake, I remember feeling like, I don't want to be in this darkness and knowingness, and I want some vibrancy and the aliveness. Where do we do that? And it was so cool. I was like, I could feel myself with him almost come through the atmosphere of the Earth and pop into what Earth must feel like when astronauts come back from space, right? They come back into the atmosphere, except it was just this feeling of he and I as energies becoming humans. I don't know, this may sound crazy, but it felt so beautiful. It's a sensation I can touch now, just in an instant. And when we came through into this feeling of being alive, being here on Earth, it was this explosion of color and sound and light and sensations and feeling, right? There was just this magical moment of this is why we incarnate. This is why souls choose to come and be humans. Because life offers vibrancy. It offers contrast. It offers experience and sensation. It offers depth of pain and height of joy. It offers orgasm. It offers taste. It offers food, water, ocean, trees, wind, right? Like, this experience of life, it's nowhere else except here on this planet. And it's a gift. It's a choice. It's filled to overflowing with abundance and vibrancy and life, right? There is no other word for it, life. And so when I was remembering that this morning and thinking about Memorial Day, and we focus on honoring those who have passed, those who are dead, and yet to me death feels illusional, right? It feels like I feel the love of those who've passed, who are around, right? And yet being here, being alive, it takes such courage. The other story I wanted to share, and then we're going to reflect on some things as a group energetically. I have an aunt who was married to my uncle. They met when they were much older. They met in 2003, and they were both in their, I believe, late 50s. And they were together for a few years, and my uncle, my dad's brother, got cancer, and he passed away. And my aunt was devastated, right? Like, she found him so late in life, and they had such a gorgeous love, such a beautiful love. And yet, like, she has a life she's living and things to do, and we've kept in touch here or there. And she reached out to me last week, and we were chatting a little bit by email, and we connected on the phone yesterday morning. And she said, I have this thing I need you to help me with, and I don't know that I want to talk to other people yet, but I'd love to have you help me. And we got on the phone, and she wants to start dating again. And it was like she needed permission, permission to date. And don't know why I'm so emotional today. I wanted to cry again because I was like, the courage of this woman who says, I've lost love, I've hurt, right? And yet I'm here. I'm in my late 60s, and I have so much still to offer this world. And I want love. I want companionship. I want play. I want to be alive. I want to travel. I want to live. She takes my breath away, right? And so that feels like such an important thing to share this morning as we enter into Memorial Day. Is yes, it's about honoring those who have passed, and yet we're here. We're here and we're alive, and let's honor that also. Let's celebrate that we chose to be here, that we choose to still be here today, in this moment, tomorrow, next week, next year, 10 years from now. We choose to be here, and so what are we going to do with that? Right? How do we spend that time? What do we create? What do we share? How do we keep coming back into this body, even if we're afraid or resistant? How do we keep coming back like my aunt and open up those tender heart spaces and say, I'm here, I'm trying it again. So, you guys are just riding along with me on this emotional space today. So, go ahead and open your feet up. Let's just release for a moment. Open your feet up and just let energy move through, down and out into the earth. If anything I've said is bringing up emotion in you, just let it be energy that moves. Moves from the crown all the way down through the physical body, through the legs, to the feet, and then, right, let the earth take it. Let her purify it. Feel Source in the center of this community, holding us steady, reminding us as we go around on the carousel, right? Reminding us, I'm in the center. I hold the space. You chose to be here. Source hasn't left. Source hasn't abandoned. Source hasn't gone anywhere. Just gently standing in the center, holding the mirrors for each of us. Yeah, so the words that were coming up for me in my meditation over and over were student and teacher. You know, this dance that we all have, those who've passed, those who are here. You know, we're all learning and teaching at the same time. Our children teach us, our neighbors, our coworkers. We teach them. And so my invitation, I think I'm going to give us maybe about 8 or 10 minutes of just some alone, quiet space within this community. And I'll watch the time and bring us all back in. And I'll hold the space. You're not going to get lost while we do this. My invitation is, in this space, pick someone, the first one who comes to mind. They can be here, they can be transitioned. If you're pregnant, they can even be a baby coming in, right? It can be any energy that you're feeling connected to. And explore this student-teacher relationship. Actually, maybe I have one more thing to say before we start that. You know, as parents in particular, as daughters or sons in particular, we believe that the parent-child role has to look a certain way. And perhaps the parents are perceived as the ones who know more, and the children are the ones who are supposed to follow the rules or go in alignment with what the path is supposed to look like. And what I have found in my experience as a daughter with my mama, but also as a mama with my children, my kids teach me so much. They humble me. They open my heart and stomp on it and patch it back up and then stomp on it again later. And then melt into it and make me more, always making me more. And so perhaps in this quiet space, it's also about redefining the roles just a little bit. You know, if it's felt like it should be or is expected to be one way, what if you explore, could it look differently than that? Could it be an expanded play of student and teacher, side by side occasionally, or role reversals switching back and forth? What could it look like, and how can you open your awareness, open your understanding, perhaps in a way that you haven't before? So I'm going to ground in a little more and hold a little more room around our circle. And I'm just going to invite you, let's take maybe 8 or 10 minutes still. Go ahead and do that and give yourself the space to look at your relationship with Source, if you want to look at that more, or your relationship with those you're playing student and teacher with. And I'll call us back in about 10 minutes. If you feel like you're getting stuck, just open your feet up. Let energy move all the way down to your feet, down into the earth. Yep. Come back in your body and then just keep exploring. All right, let's take maybe one more minute. So go ahead and start bringing what you're looking at to a conclusion or a pause. And maybe as you're wrapping that look energetically, or as you're feeling what has come up in that space, perhaps you could ask your guides or those who have transitioned before you and are holding such love for you. Maybe you could ask them, is there something else for me to know? Is there a step or an action that would most support my path next? that they want to show you. And if the invitation from them is, pause or be still or go in or love more, if it feels confusing to you, ask for more information. What does that mean? How do I do that? What does that practically look like in this human life, this human world on earth? And if the answer continues to be go in or pause or love more, maybe that's something you take with you in your own meditation time, or if you aren't one who likes to meditate on your own, just walk outside, put your feet on the earth, walk and keep your awareness open, right? As you're walking, as you're playing outside or engaging in life, just keep your awareness open and be asking, show me, guide me, tell me, what is there for me to know? We often have this belief that we're here by ourselves, no one's around. I had that this week. I had a little meltdown over something that went wrong, and I'm like, it's just me. There's nobody around, nobody loves me, nobody cares. It's so silly, but it feels so real. It feels so real in the moment sometimes. And so, as I say that, this little bird outside my window just started chirping at me. Yeah, it's such bullshit, right? It's such bullshit. Like, we're all so loved and held and surrounded in every moment. And so perhaps this moment right here, if you can feel or sense all of those energetically who are with us, right? Those on the call, those listening later, those who've transitioned, those yet to come, right? We are not alone, not for a moment. Not for a moment. So perhaps let this become a new calibration set point in your body, right? When I have those moments of doubt or wonder or disbelief or anger or whatever comes up in me, I'll touch this feeling here inside my soul, inside my heart, and I'll remember I'm not alone, right? It's also recorded. You can come back and you can float, surrender, dive into this community feeling in any moment. It's yours over and over and over again. Good. So open your feet up. Let's do one more run through. Anything that doesn't serve, doesn't belong to you. If you think you picked up energy in this space that's not yours, run it at your feet. You don't have to hold anything, right? That's my role as the space holder. And I clear right along with you, and I clear at the end of the call. So none of this is toxic soup. It's all just energy moving. Feel it go all the way through your feet into the earth. Good. And then let's recycle. So I want you to visualize the earth almost as like a little factory in this moment, taking all the junk, all the toxic energy that we're like, blah, here, you take it. Feel her pulsing, purifying nutrients going into that toxic energy. And then I want all of us to feel like as she boosts and sends and like pulses this earth energy that's purified right into our feet all at the same time. And then you get to choose, right? You can sit here and go, I don't feel it. I don't feel anything. There's nothing at my toes. Or you can just surrender to the earth's support and just say, fill me up, right? And you can just feel golden love energy moving from the earth all the way up through your feet, through your legs, your knees, your thighs, into your hips. She moves fast. She sends it fast like an ocean wave, right? So feel it just moving up through the whole core of your body, your shoulders, your arms, your fingertips, oozing out your fingertips. Support from the earth, purified energy, all the way up through your neck, soothing those beautiful necks, those gorgeous, tall, beautiful necks right up into our heads. And then whales spouting out the tops of our heads and filling up our auras, washing all the way back down to the earth again. And then any excess just goes straight back into the ground, and she reuses that too. And you can just run energy this way. You can just feel it being pushed up from the earth through your feet, continuously flushing the inside of you, filling every cell, every tiny molecule, atom, right? Just like we described earlier. Every atom, every piece of water inside your body can be purified by the earth. And as you do it for you, and we're all interconnected, we do it for each other. Yeah, so just feel that energy moving. Yeah, and then I'm going to invite you, if you want to stay a little longer, I'll leave the phone lines on but muted, and you can hang in this community space a little while, and then the recording's available later if you need it. My invitation as we go our separate ways physically is feel the connection of community, of all here, and carry that with you today. Share that energetically, vibrationally through love with all those you interact, and just see what can shift. See how the vibration of one can ripple and impact the vibration of all. And as you go, I send you off with the hugest of hugs and love from my heart to each of you. Have a beautiful weekend.